Hey, Jeremy the Tall Trainer here. I got a class going on upstairs, but I wanted to do this really quick. A friend of ours just asked this question. She just got told by the doctor she's got osteoporosis in both hips. And she's like, all right, what of the online videos should I do? You know, what should I be doing to take action on this? All right, so I'm going to show you a couple things. My big suggestion is heavy weight loading is what really does the most for bone density. So you're working with heavy weights. Now you have the really good posture to work with heavy weights. And if you're working at home, I have some suggestions. So one of the things is you can get a pretty cheap starter bar. You know, I looked up one like on Amazon. It's like 115 bucks. Get a bar, and it has a couple handles for dumbbell. You can do dumbbell weights with that too. That's probably maybe the cheapest way to get started. About 115 bucks. Get shipped to your door, and you got about 100 pounds to work with. All right. So for somebody who's pretty small, like that could be a decent amount of weight there. But you do want to get to pretty heavy resistance levels. So about maybe 3 exercises I'd really like to make sure I show you. The squat, the deadlift, and the split squat there. All right, so the squat, love it, but I really think you should have a cage. Like this one here, this whole thing together, it's about like 500 bucks for one of these things. And then you got the bar in here, and then you could drop under the bar, you step back, and you get your squats in here. The reason I like this is because these sidebars, if you tend to flatten out, if you give out on squats, the bar gets caught on those. All right, so if you just pick the bar up and try to get in there, one, it's hard to get a really heavy weight up onto your back yourself. But then even if you don't have little side catches there, it's just riskier. And there's no need to take a risk like that. All right, so I'd say squats alone. You don't have a squat rack, I'd say don't do it. Don't do it as much. All right, but another exercise you could do, a deadlift. So you got this bar, let's say you got the 100 pounds or something like that, but maybe don't start with 100 pounds. But you got the deadlift, really good for bone density because it's a heavy weight that you can work with. It's picking up off the ground, it's putting pressure through your hips. So I grab on here, and I can stand up, and I come back down. Really making sure my chest is out, my butt is out, dropping in there. You see my hips are really working that stuff, and then squeezing up there. Now this bar right now actually has like my body weight on it. All right, so that I just picked up myself, while I was doing that. It's an exercise that can get pretty heavy. You can work it pretty heavy. You got to have good posture. If your back is round and stuff like that, it's not good. I would say get with a trainer to make sure you're going to do that right. But let's say you don't have that option. That's a little bit too much for you. You can bring some dumbbells in. You're going to slowly try to build up the amount on this. But you're going to do one leg at a time. So now you can cut the weight in half basically because it's focused on one leg. You're going to shift those weights forward a little bit. Chest is out, dropping in, and coming up right in there. So get nice and low and coming up. Really putting as much weight on that front leg as you can. So it's really almost like a one-legged squat that you're doing there. And you want to get to a resistance level where you can only do about 10 of them. All right, so you want it to be pretty heavy. Perhaps even going to where you can only do a fewer number of them to really stimulate bone growth. All right, there has to be strain in order to stimulate bone growth. Now we want the bone growth in the right places, so it's got to be good posture. All right, so again, get with a trainer to make sure you've got some of the positions right as you're doing them, but those are probably 3 that I would say would probably have the most benefit for bone stimulation, especially in the hips. There is some in the lower back, some spine strength too. There's all the rows, all the other stuff is very, very good. But feet planted, taking on a heavy weight, does a pretty good job. Other things you can do that potentially could help out the bone density is perhaps, like little bits of jumping and stuff like that, the plyometric type stuff. So she's already walking a whole lot, but maybe if she took it up a little bit more intense on some of those things. So maybe if first you start off with practicing hopping, then maybe you can practice a one-footed hop or the other-footed hop. All right? Just because of that shock absorb. Now, again, position's got to be really important. If it's hurting while you're doing it, it hurts a joint or something, don't keep doing it. All right? But some of those kind of things could help. Getting harder impacts, so going from walking to a jog or something like that, could be potentially something. But the weights do the most, for building bone density. And those would be my main suggestions. All right? So hopefully this is helpful. Have fun, be safe. God bless, and build some bones.